All right, so just to reiterate what we just did, we took what was all one program and we broke it out into a separate method to perform some of the functionality. Now, why did we do that? I mentioned organization was a reason, and I think that's true. It does make it cleaner and easier to read. But probably the more important thing is, what if I need to print the name multiple times in the program? My choices are, if I don't do this, to type it out multiple times in the program, which is annoying, or every time I need it, go and copy and paste, which is even worse because we almost always make mistakes when we copy and paste. And so if I set it up in this way, and it's kind of compartmentalized into its own little function, then anytime I need to print the name, I just call the print name method. It's a better way of doing that. All right, so we can do it this way. I showed you we're doing it currently by taking the name, passing it into this method, and it's going to build the string and then return the string, which is then printed. Or the way I had it before, which I'm actually going to go back to, where all I do is call the method and it takes care of the printing on the other side. That'll work better for the next example I'm going to do. And so in this case, it's not going to return anything. We still are going to be passed in the information, but instead of returning anything, we're just going to go print right then. So we'll do a system.out. No, sorry, I'm back to Java. System.out, system.console dot right line, and the line is going to say hello, comma, space, and then we'll concatenate in that n variable, and then concatenate in that exclamation point. All right, so this is the way we had it set up before. Hopefully it still works. Let's give it a shot and just see. So I'll say tools, command line, developer, whoops, I did the shell, let's see. Tools, command line, developer command prompt, and then say csc program.cs, and then program.exe to run it, and then we're gonna get our results here. Okay, so that looks good. So this is one way of doing it. Another way we see quite frequently is to build a class and then have this method be part of another class. And so I'm going to come into my project here, right click and say add, and then add in a class. And so I said add item. I did that really quick. Let me do it again. Right click here, add, and if I do new item, usually it gives me a choice, but because it knows this is a console app, the only choice really is a class. So I can click on that, or down here I can click on class. And so I'll click on a new item and say this is a class. I'm going to call this one print stuff, which just reminds me of break stuff. And then we say add, and now it's going to add in this class. All right, so now I can take this functionality that we had that was printing the name, and I can pull that out. I'll cut this out of this class. I just got done saying you almost always make mistakes, and now here I am doing it. And then I'm going to drop into this class that method. Now, a few things are going to need to change. One is if I want to call this method from this class, it can't be private. It has to be public for me to be able to see it. And so I need to change this to public. Also, it's no longer tied to the main method. I'm pretty sure it's not going to like us having the static there. Let me see if it bugs us at all. And then we'll try it and see what happens. But we don't want it to be static. We don't want it to apply to the more the print stuff class itself. We want to create an instance of the print stuff class using that mold, and then we'll use the instance to print it. I don't know what this is going to do. Let's try it. This will be exciting. And then on this end, I need to build an instance of that class or refer to it. So this is a great example of the static. If this class if that's a static method, I can say, go to the print stuff class and print the name. Now, it doesn't going to like this, and I'm actually not going to compile it the same way I did because it's complicated to explain, but we're going to get an error if we try and do that. This is part of a workspace that we're developing in C#, so I'm going to go back to running it based on this play button. All right, so it's going to go through. It's going to give me some build errors. never, ever, ever click this box as yes, because it doesn't show you your errors then. It just tries to run from the last build. We don't want that. And so I'm going to say there were build errors. Would you like to continue and run from the last successful build? And the answer is no, I don't want to go and do that. So I guess it's not that you say, you can say this, do not show this dialog again. That's fine. But don't then say yes. Say no, because we always want to see our errors. And so I'm going to say no, and it's going to say print stuff does not exist in the current context. Show potential fixes. Let me try adding the using statement in. Will that fix it? Apparently it will. Okay, so using says bring in something from the outside. So this is like an import that you see in other programs, or shoot, what's the other keyword we see a lot of times? But to bring in an outside program. So we're using more C# fun, which I guess gives us visibility into, so it gets up to this level and then gives us visibility into all the classes inside that. This is a little bit different, by the way. C# 8 or .NET 8 is a little bit different. And so there will be a few quirks in here for sure, what I'm getting used to. So now it's going to use the class itself to print this out. So when I run this, I enter my name Spencer, and it still says hello Spencer, but to do it, it's actually accessing the mold to go print this out. And so again, applying to the class itself. More common is to not make this static, but instead to make it apply to an instance of the class. Now, if I try running it now, it's not going to like that at all, because it's a non-static field, method, or property. And so more typical when we're creating instances of objects is to say, let's go, I look at it in terms of buying one. Let's go buy one off the shelf. Let's go get a print stuff. So this is like buying the little statue that's made from the Yadro mold. And I give it a name. I can say PS. And so this goes out and reserves in memory a space the size of a print stuff class. So back to our little drawing, it's going out and grabbing a chunk of memory here and reserving it for the print stuff. Okay. And then we can take that print stuff and set it equal to a new instance of it. So this is where we actually create the instance. And we can do that on two separate lines, or we can do that on the same line, which is, depending on what you need to do, then we can do it this way. All right, so we get this set up. This is the normal way of doing it, I guess is what I'm saying, unless you want to do it the other way. For some reason, you need some other input before you can actually set it up, but you want the scope to be the entire between the braces. And so I've got this set up now. Now I have bought an instance, and it's in my hand, and it's called PS. So now I can go to the PS instance, ps.printName, and it was stamped out of this mold, so it has all the same stuff that existed here. And I can see there the PS print name method. I'm passing into it the name. Let's see if this still works. So if I run this, enter my name, Spencer, sure enough, I get back that output. All right. So again, I've broken it out into a separate class. It's a different organization. I can create this class. I can have a whole bunch of different things in it that it does that I can just call whatever functions I need out of it, but it works the exact same way. I'm passing the information into this instance of the class. The instance of the class is taking it, doing something with it, in this case printing, and then that's it for the program. So hopefully that makes sense. Next video coming up quick. Spencer out.